Today is March the 21st, 2021. Hello again, everyone. This is Pastor Frank DeMora with the End Times Research Ministry, Bible Prophecy Man, and I am the author of the book you're seeing on the screen right here, The Last Chronicles of Planet Earth. You can go over to either one of my sites, this one or to the End Times Research Ministry, and when you scroll down there, you'll see the link for my book. It's a documentary on Bible prophecy and current events. Nothing but evidence to show you this is the generation Jesus was talking about. I'm just going to spend a few minutes with one sign here today, Luke 21:11, and it has to do with the sign of pestilence. We know that there's pestilence of diseases and also the plagues, the pestilence from all different kinds of creatures. In this case, which will be showing you today, happens to do with an infestation of mice. Now, when you go over to my book, chapter 20, and you scroll down, you'll see all kinds of information about locust plagues, where they are, how often they're coming, are they here now, which they definitely are. And, of course, you'll see the latest updates that I put into my book every time something like this occurs. And you'll see this one from Iran faces the worst locust plague in 50 years. And, of course, this is signs of the birth pangs of the last days. This one has to do with Kenya, where hundreds of millions of locusts. Argentina, Brazil, many places around the world that are being decimated by the swarms of locusts that eat everything in sight. But I just wanted to show you some of the information you will be seeing from my book. Now let me go over to this latest news concerning the mice. 2 days ago, March the 19th, The Guardian put up an article entitled, "You Can't Escape the Smell. Mouse plague grows to biblical proportions across eastern Australia." Locals who have endured months of mice and rats getting into their houses, stores, and cars are praying heavy rain will help wipe them out. Now, this article did come with the video. I'm going to play this video. You won't believe the number of these mice that are causing havoc in Australia. Watch this.
Oh, damn!
Since 1977, when the Lord put me into this end times ministry, I've covered a lot of plagues, but I've never seen anything like we're seeing now in Australia. And the title to that article was very apropos, Biblical Proportions. It says, "Drought, Fire, and COVID-19 Pestilence, and all-consuming plague of mice. Rural South Wales faced just about every biblical challenge nature has to offer in the last few years. But now it is praying for an almighty flood to drown the mice in their burrows and cleanse the blighted land of the rodents, or some very heavy rain at least." Now, for those of you who know Bible prophecy, you know that Jesus warned about the droughts. He also warned in the Revelation, he warned about the scorching of the sun on the earth, and there would be fires. And obviously, if you live in Australia, you know you've been dealing with all of these things, and now with the pestilence. all signs of the last days. It seems everyone in the rural towns of Northwest NSW and southern Queensland has their own mouse war story. In post online, they detail waking up to mouse droppings on their pillows or watching the ground move at night as hundreds of thousands of rodents flee from torchlight beams. Lisa Gore from Tumunda told Guardian Australia her friend stripped the fabric off of her armchair when it began to smell, only to find a nest of baby mice in the stuffing. The article talks about Karen Fox, who's staring at a mouse looking through her vent, and it also has a video. Watch this.
He's staring at me in our vent. Like a little baby one.
The article continues to say, we don't want to go inside in the morning sometimes. It stinks. They will die and it's impossible to find all the bodies. Some nights we are catching over 400 or 500, he says. Now we're going to move down to this paragraph. After years of drought, rural NSW and parts of Queensland enjoyed a bumper crop due to the recent wet season. But this influx of new produce and grains had led to an explosion in the mouse population. Locals say they started noticing the swarms up north in October, and the wave of rodents has been spreading south ever since, growing to biblical proportions. And you'll see that there's monetary loss because of this plague. This particular person lost $30,000 and is unsure how much longer they can continue. It's been going on for 3 months. It's going to be really hard. We have lost so many customers, he says. So the Lord did tell us we were going to see plagues, and without a question, plagues are coming. At the end of 2020, massive amounts of land destroyed because of desert locusts eating everything in sight. And now we see numbers like we've never seen before from this biblical proportion, as they said, this mouse plague. And there's one thing to keep in mind when you're reading an article like this. When the hay is being devastated and they use the hay for the animals, the cost of those animals to feed them are going to go through the roof. So not only are the people in Australia losing money, but obviously down the line it's going to cost a lot more to buy what's ever left after this mouse biblical proportion raid. Look at this. Some farmers have lost as much as 2,500 bales. There isn't enough money for the council to do anything to help. All we can do is try to keep them from coming into our offices, our machinery, our tractors, our trucks. They eat all the wiring, he says. When I'm confronted with somebody who tells me, well, we're not in the last days because there's always been plagues, my answer to that comment is this. They're absolutely correct. There's always been plagues. But the difference is, in Matthew chapter 24, Jesus said, when you shall see all these things, know that it's near, even at the doors. He was talking about his second coming. And he listed one thing after another, birth-paying signs of the last days that would happen all together in one single generation. So the plagues alongside the rest of these last days signs, that is a major sign that this is the generation who is going to see Jesus Christ return. As a matter of fact, in just about every video, I point out that Jesus in Matthew chapter 24 said, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. So we know for sure this is the chosen generation. The question is, do you believe it? If not, just stay tuned, because the plague that you see here, there's going to be more of them in different parts of the world. It's going to get a lot worse. It's part of the birth pangs, whether it be mice, rats, desert locusts, bats, crickets, or whatever it is. It's going to get a lot worse. The good part about this is Jesus gave us the signs. He told us to watch for these signs, because the people who were watching these signs, they know that they're about ready to go home when the Lord calls them home. And when the Christians are gone, all hell will break loose on this earth. And you don't want to be here when that takes place. You have a way out, and that way out is through Jesus Christ, and it's the only way out. Jesus in John chapter 14 said, I am the truth and the life. No one goes to the Father except through me. If you can receive this, you've been blessed. And if this is the first time you heard it, check it out, because Jesus wants you in his kingdom, and that's why he's given us all these signs. This is Frank DeMora. Today would be a great day to enter your name into the Lord's book of life. Don't let another day go by without your name being on his registry. God bless.